Hey guys, it's Maria Antoinette and I'm back with my little friend Rattle. Today I am going to be showing you how to make this toy snake from repurposed ties. How cute is this, right? Here's what you're gonna need for this project. Braiding cord, bells for the rattle, buttons, I like to repurpose these as well, felt, pencil with the eraser, and definitely not sharpened, scissors, a repurposed tie, straight pins, and batting. All right, let's get started. So the first step is to take our tie and kind of do a little bit of operation on it. We're gonna remove all of our labels. Most ties are made with a basing stitch, which means that it's not very durable. So I'm gonna go in and I'm just going to shear that off. And you see this material that's here, this is what the tie gets its structure from. We're gonna narrow that down. I like to look at this and think, how wide do I want the head of the snake to be? Now we're going to take our tie and wrap it back around that size. And this is where the straight pins come in handy. We're going to just simply pin about a ½ inch in to where the tie now overlays. So we have the size of our snake. That looks pretty good. For our next step, we're gonna be using our glue gun. This is the quickest and most simple way to put this together. If you want to hand stitch it, please be my guest. This is just what I'm gonna use today. So I'm gonna start at the bottom, more towards the narrow end, and I'm just going to glue gun that together. All right, when we get closer to the wide side of the tie, we are going to stop gluing because you'll see that there's this little flap inside of the bottom of the tie. We're gonna want to have access to that, so we're going to put more batting into it, so you don't need to adhere it right now. But now the snake is shaped, it's secure, and it's ready to be stuffed. You'll notice before that I did not remove the basing stitch off the narrow side of the necktie. I'm gonna go ahead and do that now, and I'm not gonna take it all the way down. I'm just gonna do a little bit. This is seriously gonna help you guys when it comes to stuffing this snake because it gets narrow and it can get a little bit difficult. And we're going to lift that lining that's inside of the necktie. We're gonna lift that to the front, okay? Which means that we're gonna stuff between the lining and the necktie material. My next step is to take small pieces because it just works so much easier. And we're gonna just stuff that in there. And this is where the pencil comes in handy. I tried everything when I made my first one, and this was the easiest tool to use. An unsharpened pencil with an eraser on the end. The eraser is able to grip the cotton batting and push it down and help you to distribute it so you won't have any lumps or bumps. All right guys, we're getting to the point where we want to add our rattle to our rattlesnake. I found using jingle bells, muzzled, make the perfect rattle sound. I'm gonna wrap them in the batting and I'm just gonna push them right on in there. Now we're gonna take our tie material and we're going to hot glue gun that down so that everything is closed. Now on this part, you don't have to be very precise because we're gonna wrap the rattle, so none of this is gonna be seen. With everything closed off, we're gonna finish with a little bit more of the batting, and then we're going to close this end of the snake. We're gonna go ahead and cut the excess tail off. We're gonna put a little bit of hot glue. We're gonna do a fold over, kind of like wrapping a gift. Now with our end secured, we're gonna go ahead and add in our rattle texture. So I'm gonna be using the cotton cord, and I'm gonna just pick what colors I think complement the fabric. This tan looks good, this chocolate looks good, and we're gonna give it a pop of orange. Doubled over, you'll want it to be the length of your arm. Now we're gonna take our hot glue gun. You'll see that it's narrow there, and I did that intentionally because a snake's tail gets narrow. With our string organized, we're gonna just lay it down that hot glue gun, and then we're gonna begin to wrap. When you get to the end, you're just gonna cut off all of that excess. Use a little bit of glue to secure the end, and there we have our rattle, guys. All right, now it's time to stuff our batting into the head of the snake. You don't wanna overstuff this section. I know with it open, it looks like you have a lot of space, but you're going to be closing this. Now we're gonna go ahead and close this up. We're not gonna seal it off, but we're gonna close up the material, and then we're gonna come back and stuff in the rest of the shape. And if you need to use a few straight pins to hold it in place, be my guest. We're gonna let that cool, and then we're gonna finish stuffing it with the rest of our batting. With everything stuffed and complete, snake looks good. We're gonna seal this off. While that's drying, let's go ahead and start getting our tongue ready. We're gonna take our red felt. We're just gonna cut a thin line. We're gonna take a little bit of glue, do a strip right down the middle. You can keep it as long or as short as you want. I'm gonna go a little bit shorter, and now we're going to notch the tongue. Starting to look like a snake now, isn't it? All we have to do is add our eyes. This is where you can start to have a little bit more fun with the design. I'm gonna make this snake have one patch over its eye. So I'm gonna cut out a small little section of felt in an accent color. Fun, right? Adds a little bit of dimension. So when we stitch our eyes on, gives it a little bit more character. All right, now it's time to glue our eyes on. Now, here is a tip. If this is for a small child, make sure that you stitch these eyes on because we don't want any safety hazards. This snake for me is more of a keepsake. No one's gonna be playing with it, so I'm just gonna hot glue gun my button eyes on, but it's always good to stitch them on for small children. And look, you guys, how cute is this? So easy. Great project to do with your kids and a great way to keep a keepsake of someone special in your life. Hopefully you enjoyed this, and if you recreate it, make sure you use hashtag HGTV Handmade because we want to see it. Also comment down below of some different things that you would have done to your rattlesnake. We would love to hear from you. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!